Good morning, my beautiful Capricorns, and welcome to this, your 12 Days of Yule 2023 predictions video. Today is December the 30th. We are almost into 2023. Can you believe it? I don't know where the last 3 years have gone. Anyway, welcome and thank you for supporting my channel. So, before I get started, a couple of little announcements. So this video is intended as a general overall outlook and prediction for 3 different areas of your life, Capricorn. Yes, that's right. There's going to be 3 readings in this video. The first one is going to be a general look at 2023 for you. The second one's going to be looking at your love and your relationships. And the third is going to look at money, job, career, work, all of that kind of stuff. This is a general reading for all of you Capricorns out there. And there's quite a number of you, which means that some of this will resonate with some of you, but not all of you. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. It's intended for another Capricorn. If you are interested in a personal reading for 2023, a prediction reading, this is not pre-recorded. It is with me live. I'll put a link in the description to my 13 card special. I only offer the 13 card special once a year at this time of the year. It's intended as a year-end reading and prediction for the following year. And so that is available, and all of the information will be down in the description, along with a link to my webpage where you can book the appointment at your convenience. All right, so what else am I supposed to say? Oh, disclaimers. We have to put in all of our disclaimers. I am not a medical doctor. I am not a lawyer. I am not a financial advisor. So everything that I say in this video that may be construed as financial, legal, or medical advice, please keep in mind, Capricorns, that you have free will. It is up to you as to whether you decide to take that advice as gospel, or whether you decide to dismiss it, or whether you decide to kind of go in between. It is up to you. You have free will. Okay, nothing in this video is intended as gospel advice. Okay. Each of the 3 readings will be 6 cards. I'm doing 6 card spreads for each of the 3 readings. And we're going to have a quick peek at where are you now, what your focus is, some of the difficult influences coming up in the general love and money categories. So let's get started. All right. So for those of you who have not seen my videos before, I do work with a number of both oracle decks as well as tarot decks. I've selected 4 for the purposes of doing these year-end prediction zodiac readings. I don't use one specific deck for all of the cards in the spread. I go from deck to deck because I find that that gives a more well-rounded reading, okay? So you will see me close my eyes and I get drawn towards one of the decks for the purposes of pulling the card for that particular area of the spread. Let's get started. Capricorn, you now. I am going to leave all of the cards upside down so that I can't see them. This makes it a little bit better so I'm not jumping around when I actually start reading. And I don't, read a card ahead of time. Let's look at your focus for 2023, Capricorn, your focus for your general reading. Let's have a look at your focus. What are you focusing on? Okay, there we go. And let's have a look at your difficult influences. So difficult influences, although the card may appear to be an extremely positive card, when it appears in the spread as a difficult influence, it kind of has a little bit of the opposite meaning, or has a meaning in it wherein it's kind of a heads up, like something might be, you know, rubbing you the wrong way or going a little bit of the wrong way. So it's not a negative per se, but it is a heads up, something to keep in mind. So where are we going for difficult influences for Capricorn in the general reading? Okay, there we go. Definitely that card. What makes sense? Where are we going for what makes sense? Come over here. Cards just want to be messy today. Hey, deck, you called me over to you guys. So can we have a card or two? That's 3. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. That one did not want to go back in the deck. Let's look at some unexpected insights for you. Unexpected insights. Ooh. All right. Again, we've got more than one card here that's come out for some unexpected insights. I am getting told that all 3 of them are intended to be read. And let's look, Capricorn, at your general overall outcome for 2023. I'm getting called back over to the same deck that we used for the very first card that was pulled. That one's kind of subtle. Let's see. All right. See if the energy is as subtle as it was for the card coming out. All right. Moss and adaptability is where you are at right now, my Capricorn friends. Okay. What this card is telling me is that where you're at right now is you have the capacity and the aptitude to be able to adjust to exactly where you're at. You're at a place where you recognize a lot of the world is changing. Things are moving and shifting around you. And yet you're okay with that because you know it's happening. And you're kind of sitting back and you're going, knew that was going to happen. Yep, knew that was going to happen too. And so you have the ability to adapt to the big changes that are coming up. That's where you're at right now. Okay. Moss is one of the older plants. You know, it's been around for thousands, even millions of years, and because it grows from spores. And so this is also an indication, Capricorns, that right now you are tapping into like an ancient knowledge and an ancient wisdom. And that's allowing you to be adaptable and to adapt to the certain situations that are coming across your plate. For example, if something goes a little bit sideways in your life or whatever, right now you kind of look at it and you go, I can deal with that. It's all good. So yeah, I'm not sensing that there's a lot of stress in the you now, right now. Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. What did I say? Changing times, right? For the you now, your focus for 2023 is to trust your talents in changing times. Look to the Spirit Fox. Out of a lot of the land animals that we know of, the fox itself has the capacity to be able to change and adapt. It knows when to hide, it knows when to come out. It is quite creative in sourcing its food, all of these things. And that's why it's represented on this particular card. But the gist of this card is that your focus in 2023 Capricorn is to really look at where your talents lie and then trust that you can use them to your advantage. You can use them for the purposes of moving ahead in career, in social standing, in relationships, any of these things. For a lot of people right now, as the times are changing and shifting, there's a lot of people who are extremely uncomfortable with what's coming up. This card is telling me that you've gone through that discomfort already. You've already gone through that and gone, you know, a lot of the human population kind of suspected that there was some pretty big changes coming at some point. And then 2020 brought it to the surface for many people, where they went, oh, this is what's coming. And then there was still a lot of people that didn't really believe or buy in. There was a lot of people that believed that, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, we'll go back to normal. And I want to say that for the vast majority of the Capricorns, you didn't believe that. You knew that there was something else going on below the surface. Now, here's the interesting thing. If we go back to this card, Moss also knows what's going on below the surface, right? It's connected to Mother Earth in a very, very deep way, and it has the ability to adapt. And so I think that over the last 3 years, you've gone through that process of adapting. So you're very aware right now going into 2023 that times are changing. They're changing very quickly, that it's like a snowball that's only this big at the top of the hill, and you begin rolling it down the hill, and it just gets bigger and bigger and goes faster and faster. And you recognize that that's happening, Capricorn. And you have the ability right now to trust in your talents. For many people, they don't recognize that everything that they have experienced up until this point in their lives is for the purpose of teaching them of what comes next and how to handle what comes next. And I think for you, Capricorn, you recognize that. You know that everything that you have gone through has created who you are today and given you the tools that you need to be able to survive in the changing world. Let's move into your difficult influences. Okay, difficult influences for Capricorn for your general 2023 reading is experiencing. What this is telling me is that part of the reason that you're being so adaptable, part of the reason that you're recognizing all of this is because you're not actually living and experiencing. You're somewhere, somehow shut down in the area perhaps of emotions. You have shut down. Yeah, I want to say it's emotions and compassion, empathy. Those areas of your life right now are weakened or somewhat shut down, which is kind of understandable. A lot of people are kind of shutting down right now because the changes are so overwhelming for them. They're struggling with being able to handle the changes. And so they're no longer experiencing life. What this means is that they're no longer living life, truly living it. So that's not to say that all of you Capricorns are no longer living or that you're suppressing things. What this card is telling me is that there is a difficult influence. In other words, there is kind of a desire to go into this place of not experiencing in 2023. And really what the difficult influences card is telling us is that we have the desire or the propensity to go towards not doing what's on the card. Well, in fact, what is in our best and highest interest is to do what's on the card, if that makes sense. So Capricorns, experience life this year. Don't allow it to pass you by. Go out there and experience it and love it and do it. Okay? This makes sense. Breaking trails. A breakthrough is at hand. So the reason that this card makes sense is that we know that there's change coming, Capricorn. We know, you've known for a long time that there is change coming. You've been working towards adapting, okay? This is telling me that for your life, is your general overall reading, that the changes are really, really coming to fruition. So the last 3 years for most of us have been about, we know it's coming, when's it coming? We know it's coming, when's it coming? Oh, is it now? Nope, it didn't happen yet. Okay, there's been a lot of that going on, and I sense that there's a lot of that going on for you, Capricorn. This is telling me that there's finally that breakthrough and the change happens and you can get on with life, right? When we live in that sense of what if we live in that sense of, oh, what's right around the corner? We know there's change, but we don't know it. We live in anxiety. Whereas once the change actually happens, once that breakthrough actually happens, we can get back to adapting to whatever the change threw at us, and we can start using our talents again. Okay. Now, in the unexpected insights, we've got 3 cards that have come up for you. Interesting. The first one is the Medicine Guardian. This card is saying be open to healing information. What this card is telling me, Capricorn, is that in 2023, please pay attention to your health. You don't want to have to call upon the Medicine Guardian. This is not to say that you are going to get sick. Not at all. What this card is saying is that you need to pay attention to your health. You need to be eating healthful foods. You need to be perhaps looking into supplements if you are not getting all of the nutrition you need from your food sources. Make sure that you have a good source of clean drinking water. Make sure that you are exercising and getting the blood moving through your system. This card is also saying that in these changing times, you need to be open to perhaps alternative ways of healing ourselves. Like I said, here we go, disclosure, bears repeating, not a medical doctor. Take whatever may be construed as medical advice with a grain of salt. You have free will, do with this information what you will. But this card is indicating that you need to be open to perhaps some alternative ways of healing, good nutrition, and caring for yourself. You don't want to have to call upon the Medicine Guardian later in 2023. The other 2 cards that came up for you is the Hermit and the Druid. Now, there is a Hermit card in tarot decks. It's part of the major arcana. And this card is an indication that during 2023, you are going to need to take time to hermit. with all of this change that came up earlier in the reading, with this card indicating that you may not be experiencing things, that you are kind of pushing things off to the side if they are difficult, it's telling me that this card really, really makes sense. That at some point in time during 2023, you're going to need to take time to rest and recharge, to retreat from the world and look after yourself, which makes sense with the medicine guardian coming up, right? Meditation, taking time for yourself, going on retreat, grounding yourself, earthing, going for a hike. Any of these things are all about self-care. And that's what these two cards together are telling me that you will need in your life in 2023, Capricorn. Now, there is a third card here, the Druid, which is hold space. Again, this card applies to you, but it also applies to the people that are around you. When you are looking after yourself, you've adapted to some of the changes, you begin to really experience life. You've gone through the change with the breaking the trail, okay? This is telling me you're healing yourself, you're looking after yourself, you're grounding, you're meditating, whatever the case may be, that not only are you holding space for yourself, you're holding space for others. I really sense that there is in 2023, Capricorn, people are going to look to you for support and encouragement when stuff starts to hit the fan and these changes come. Because you've already done the work, you're going to kind of appear like this guy to a lot of the other people that are going, the sky is falling. Okay. So you're going to look like this guy to them. Even if perhaps you don't feel like this on the inside, you look like this to the outside world. You look like this calm, cool, collected, I got this under control. And so you're being asked to hold space for those other people that really didn't see this whole thing coming. And you're being asked to, holding space isn't about giving advice. Holding space for people is sitting quietly with them and allowing them to process as necessary. If they ask you specifically for some kind of support, whether that be a hug, whether that be advice, whether that be pass them the box of tissues, whatever the case may be, this card is telling me that you will be playing a supporting role in a lot of people's lives this year. Okay. General overall outcome for 2023, Capricorns, is the beauty card, the rainbow card. This card, okay, a rainbow represents our chakras. If you actually look closely at a rainbow that is well formed, you'll notice that all of the colors of the rainbow represent the colors of our chakras. So a rainbow, when it appears in tarot or in oracle cards, is an indication that you got your poop together. Okay, you've aligned your chakras, you're sitting in alignment, you've gone through the changes, you've managed to adapt, you're using your gifts, and it's beautiful. So this is your general overall outcome for 2023, Capricorns. All in all, a pretty darn positive thing. Okay, let me just put all these cards back into their respective decks and do a quick little clearing on them. And then we're going to move into love and relationships. And we are going to do a similar spread. One more card to go in here. we are going to do the 6-card spread again. Okay, and just recenter. Where are the Capricorns now with regards to love and relationships? Oh, well, we have a card that jumped right out. Does this card require any clarification given that it just jumped out all by itself really quickly? No. Okay. Capricorn, what is your focus in 2023 with regard specifically to love and relationships? Let's see. Okay. We've got 4 cards. Yeah, it's that one. That one definitely didn't want to go back in. Let's look at your difficult influences. Where are we going for difficult influences? Right over here. Okay, yep, we got that one. So for those of you who don't know why I'm pulling cards sometimes from the middle of the deck, I do have a ridge on one of my fingers that cards have a tendency to get caught on. And I've learned over the years to pay attention to cards that get caught on that ridge. It's trying to tell me something. So that's why sometimes it appears as though I'm grabbing cards from the middle of the deck. Let's move into, this makes sense. Going over here. Capricorn, love and relationship, 2023. Okay, and again, we've got kind of a group of cards set. That one too. Yep, that one's coming up. Okay. We've got 4 cards again. That one's coming out for sure. And one of these 3. No, definitely not that one. That one. Okay. Let's have a look at your unexpected insights in love. This one's always interesting. Unexpected insights. And again, we've got one caught on that finger. Yep. Okay. Overall outcome for love. Yep, back over here. Overall outcome for the Capricorns. 3 cards there. Okay, that one. Capricorn, where are you now with regards to love and relationships? You've got protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. Well, I would say that you're in a pretty good place with regards to love and relationships. Whether you are in a relationship or whether you are single, Capricorn, you're being watched over. For those of you who are currently in the dating world, this is an indication that you are being watched over. You're being somewhat protected with regards to the dates that you are going on. For those of you who are in relationships, this card is telling me that, you know, even if things look like they're going a little bit sideways, this is indicating that you're still being surrounded, you're being protected for your highest good. Whether that indicates a breakup or whether that indicates a long-term perfect union remains to be seen. But either way, your angels are with you and they're helping you. I'm being called upon to pass this message along that for both the single and the Capricorns who are currently in relationships, I'm picking up that some of you are feeling as though you might not be quite on the right path with regards to either your relationship or the direction that your dating life is taking. And that's why this card is coming up right now. And what this card is indicating is that you need to get really clear in what it is that you want in a relationship. And it doesn't matter whether you're already in a relationship or whether you're currently seeking. You need to be clear, because if you're putting out confused messages, if you're putting it out there of, you want one thing, but then your actions are speaking differently, or you're really unclear as to what you want, your angels are coming in and they're saying, okay, we're here, we can help you, but you need to have clarity. You need to tell us what you want. That's what I'm picking up for you, more on an intuitive side than really what the cards are saying. But I just intuitively, Capricorns, I'm picking up that you don't really know what you want when it comes to love right now. Your focus for 2023 is the integration card. Again, what I was picking up intuitively on this card is that there's some non-clarity, like what you're putting out there as to what you want isn't really clear right now. And this card is actually reinforcing that going into 2023. The yin and the yang is an indication of polar opposites. Now, it does eventually create balance, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That is one of the laws of the universe. And that's what's represented in the center of this card by the yin and the yang. Also, we've got the opposites represented here by having a very fierce bird and having what is portrayed as, this calm swan. If you've ever been around swans, you know that they also have a nasty side. But if you've also been around eagles, you know that they can have a gentle side. So this is a card of being pulled in different directions. But down here at the bottom, you'll notice that there is the portrayal of the snake eating its own tail. And what this means is that everything eventually comes full circle. But the only way that things can come full circle is if we have clarity. And what this is telling me, Capricorn, it doesn't matter whether you are single or whether you are in a relationship, you need to have that clarity. And even once you have that clarity, a little bit of the yin and the yang is going to come in, because wherever there is darkness, there is always a shadow or a little bit of light. Wherever there's light, there's always a little bit of darkness, right? That's what this symbol means. So, sun and the moon on here as well, right? But what this card is telling me is that you're not really clear in what you want in love. And so there is that push and that pull, that give and that take. I'm just picking up confusion. And so your focus in 2023 has to be on integration, integrating what you want. But in order to do that, you have to be clear as to what you want. And once you get that clarity, then you will be able to integrate that into your life. Your difficult influences is the direction guardian choose your path. I'm sorry to laugh at you, Capricorns, but this makes perfect sense, because Over here, I'm saying you don't have direction. Over here, I'm saying you're not being clear at the messages you're sending out. And then in your difficult influences, you get the guardian telling you, find your direction, choose your path. This being in the difficult influences, remember what I said. If something comes up in the difficult influences, it kind of has the opposite meaning. The opposite meaning of choose your path means that you're not choosing your path. You're not being clear. You need to figure out what you want in 2023. If you want to have all of this happiness and this cool, calm, collected, and so on, get clear, choose your path, walk that path. This is indicating that you're still waffling and you're going back and forth and you're still unsure of exactly what it is that you want. This makes sense. Okay, we have the Sun card coming out, which is the Faith card. We have to have faith that the sun comes up tomorrow and it's going to go down tonight. We know that's going to happen. The owl is also coming up for your This Makes Sense. What this is telling me is that when you have that faith, and again, this is an indication of clarity, right? Faith and clarity go hand in hand. If you don't have clarity, then you can't have faith that the sun is going to come up tomorrow. We know that the sun is going to come up every day. Okay, sometimes it hides behind clouds, but we know that we have daylight one day and we have dark at night, and so on and back and forth. And again, we're looking at the opposites, right? So in 2023, again, this card is indicating that you need to have that clarity. The owl on this card, the wise old owl. Use ancient wisdom in order to get the clarity that you want. Use your intuition. Okay. Going back over here to this card, speak to your angels. Have them help you get the clarity that you need of exactly what you want to get out of your love and your relationships in 2023. And again, consult with your intuition to get that clarity. This is an indication that you're using a little bit of ancient wisdom, intuition. Again, we've got the moon represented on here. So this card also indicates using the moon for the purposes of intuition. This card is using the sun to have that faith. Okay. Again, we've got the sun and the moon coming up. You have got so many opposites happening right now, Capricorn. In 2023, your love and relationships are going to kind of be all over the place. Hunter, track down your fears and desires. Again, this card ties into all of these cards. It ties into this card as well. Okay. Track down your fears and desires. If you don't know what your fears are and you don't know what your desires are, if you don't know what you want, you can't have it. So again, this card, track down your fears and desires, is telling you, tap into that intuition, tap into that faith, and figure out what it is that you want. This is a very different reading from most of the love and relationship readings that I have been doing up until this point. Most of the time, I'm going back and forth between the singles and the people that are in couples, and the cards are read a little bit differently depending on where they're at. This whole reading, Capricorn, it doesn't matter whether you are a single, it doesn't matter whether you're in a committed relationship. You're waffling, you're all over the place. You don't have that clarity. You're not making firm decisions and choices about what you want in a partner, about what your expectations are from your existing partner. And the world's going, I don't know what they want. Outcome for love and relationships. Capricorn, you are at an impasse in 2023. Reflect and redirect your energies. Again, you're being called upon. Reflect, redirect your energies, go into that intuition, go into that faith, go into these opposites and figure out what it is you want, because right now you're at an impasse. Now, I want to point out that there is a squirrel on this card. There's two meanings to this. One, you are being asked to not be the squirrel. Oh, look, a squirrel. Was that distracting or what? If you are putting that out there into the universe in your love life, oh, look, another squirrel. If you're doing that, then the universe is responding the same way that you just responded to the fact that I just went, oh, look, a squirrel halfway through your reading. They're going, what the hell? Okay. The angels, the energies of manifestation can't give you what you want if you're going, oh my God, look, a squirrel halfway through a manifestation. Okay, Capricorn. The other thing that the squirrel represents is work. Okay. Hard workers preparing for the future. They run around, they scurry around, they collect up all these nuts, and they prepare for the future with a purpose. However, the squirrel is renowned for forgetting where it hides half of the nuts that it's collected. So it recognizes that it needs to prepare for the future. And yet, even once it's prepared for the future, oh, look, another squirrel. Okay. That is where your energy is at with regards to love and relationships this year, Capricorn. Let me remind all of you, this is a reading being done on December the 30th, 2022. Does all of this confusion and complication have to come to fruition and reality in 2023? Absolutely not. These readings are for the purposes of giving you the heads up so you know what you are currently manifesting. And if that's not what you want, you have free will. You can change the outcome of this. If you continue on your current path, Capricorn, then this is what you're going to manifest. A lot of confusion, a lot of not knowing which direction to go with regards to love and relationship, but you have it in your power right now to change that. All right. Let's put these cards back into their respective decks, and we will move on to money, job, career, and let's see where you're going there. Okay, where did my organite go? Clear each of the decks and wash away all of that confusion that you put into all of my decks here, Capricorn, from your love reading. Money, job, work, career for Capricorn. Where is Capricorn right now with regards to money, job, work, career? Getting called. Oh, I'm being called in two different directions. I think we're going to have two cards here for you, Capricorn. Oh, and look at that. We've got two cards that have come out. Let me just hold them. Do we need another clarifying card for where Capricorn is at right now? Money, job, work. Okay. Is this focus? This is your focus card, one of your focus cards, and I'm being called to pull another card for you now with regards to money from a different deck here. Okay. All right. Do we require another card to clarify the focus card? I'm getting told yes. So right. Oh, and we have a card that, oh, two cards that have just jumped right out for your focus. Difficult influences. Where are we going for difficult influences? Capricorn. Back up over there. Yeah. And which card is it that's poking me? It's that one. I don't know if you can see that card just tenting right up. That's your difficult influences. Do we require a clarifying card on the difficult influences? Get told yes. Wow, you've got a lot going on with regards to work this year, Capricorn, in 2023. What makes sense? What is making sense? It's going to be one of these two decks. Narrow it down. This one. Definitely go into this one. Oops. Ah! How many cards do we need? Not that many. This makes sense. Money, job, work, career, Capricorn. Yeah. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of energy coming up for this reading, Capricorn. I think you're pretty stressed. I think that the last 3 years have hit you guys particularly hard. You know, the first part of your reading, before I even turn any of these over, with the general reading, showed that you had the capacity to adapt to a lot of situations. I'm picking up a lot of energy in this that it's kind of ruffling my feathers a little bit. We'll see what actually is in the cards once I start to turn them over. Unexpected insights. Where are we going for the unexpected insights in that? Unexpected insights. Okay. Overall general outcome. Over here. I might be clarifying that card when we get to the end of this. Okay. Two cards for where you're at right now, Sagittarius, Capricorn. You got the Moon card, which represents cycles, and you got the Traveler card, move in a new direction. Like I said, when I was pulling these cards before I even turned any of them over, for money, job, work, career, Capricorn, the Moon card, every single deck that I own has a Moon card in it, including the traditional tarot. The Moon card is a representation of change, big change. The Moon card can also indicate shadows, that something is not as it seems, that somebody is perhaps not being as honest with you as they could be. All of these things are information that comes up when the Moon card comes out, particularly if the Moon card comes out in the traditional tarot. The Moon card also represents cycles, which is actually a good thing because it indicates that what is currently happening, you will come out of it on the other side. You know, it's a card of opposites. So we know that from the full moon, eventually we will get a new moon. And from a new moon, the moon will eventually come back into the sky and provide us with some light again. It is this card of push and pull, opposite cycles, all of these things. And then you end up getting this card telling you move in a new direction. So with regards to money, job, work, career, Capricorn, this is coming up in the you now position of the reading. And it's telling me that there's changes coming for you, whether you want those changes or not. Now, I am going to preface this again with the way that I left off your love and relationships. You have the ability to change this. If you don't like the direction that this reading is going, you can change it in 2023. This is just the energies that you are putting off right now. But this is telling me that there's definitely going to be some changes in your work, job, career, as well as money. That's not to say that it's a bad thing, unless you don't want that. Okay. But for the vast majority of us, we also knew, just as I indicated in your general reading, you knew about all of these changes, changing times, right? You even got a card that specifically said that you're ready for these changing times. And this is indicating that the changing times are specifically going to kind of really concentrate on your work, job, and career. This card's indicating that there may be a move for you with regards to work, job, and career. There may be some travel involved in your work, job, or career. For some of you, you might not like that. And for others, you might be going, woo, 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 right? I mean, for some of you, I sense that the traveler is a really positive card. And for others, you're kind of pulling back from it a little bit. Okay. Your focus in 2023, you've got the cave or the initiation card. Again, this card indicates new beginnings, right? Because when we start something new, we have to be initiated into it. Also, the cave represents going into something new, discovering something new, exploration into something new. So again, I'm going to follow up on the theme that came up in the you now, that there are definite changes coming with regards to your work, job, or career. And this card is indicating that going into 2023, your concentration is going to be on starting something new, being initiated into something new. Whether you are starting something new with regards to starting your own business, or whether you are just starting a new job at a new company, there's some initiation that needs to happen. I was getting called, oh my God, to pull two clarifying cards. Well, one clarifying card, but two of them came out with regards to your focus. You're not going to believe this. This card was in the you now. Look at what card you got in your focus for 2023. What are the chances of you getting two cards, both indicating travel? Capricorn. The S just got real. Sorry, I'm not going to say that full word because YouTube doesn't like it. But the S just got real with regards to your work, job, or career. There is definitely something involving traveling, movement, change. The other card that came up as the clarifying card to this one, this card is all about new beginnings, new experiences, initiation into something new. You got the moment-to-moment card. This card is all about living in the moment, because with all of this other stuff coming up, it's an indication that there is a whole bunch of change. When there's a whole bunch of change, guess what? It's really, really hard to plan. That's why you got the moment-to-moment card, because it's asking you to live in the present moment. Because if you're living in the future and trying to plan way, way, way ahead, you're just going to be creating a whole bunch of stress for yourself. Capricorn, There is so much change coming up for you in 2023. But I really, really love, I mean, for those of you who are familiar with my channel and familiar with my life, travel is a huge part of it. I absolutely love and adore travel. Now, I know for some of the Capricorns, you're going, oh my God. For others, you're going, yes, travel. The fact that you got 2 cards indicating travel with regards to job, career, there's definite movement coming up for you in 2023. Difficult influences. Difficult influences. You got the cedar tree, which represents wisdom, ancient wisdom, and you got the past life card. The past life card, to clarify this card, again, ancient wisdom. What this card is telling me is that in order for you to move forward with all of this change, and like I said, this is about new beginnings. Traveling for a lot of people is about new beginnings, going to new places, learning new things. What this is telling me is that for some of you, you are stuck in the past right now, and this is in difficult influences. So you're not paying attention to the past. You're not paying attention to what you already learned and what you already know, the wisdom that you already know. Okay. You're not paying attention to ancient wisdom. This is your difficult influence, that when we have the opportunity to move into something new, we have to keep in mind all of the knowledge and wisdom that we bring with us from our past. This card is also a call to pay attention to there's 2 ways of doing things. Actually, there's 3, but for our purposes right now, you can continue to do things the old way, or you can learn new ways of doing things. These cards are telling me in the difficult influences that you may be kind of holding on to the past. Now, that's not to say that the past and this ancient wisdom isn't valuable, but it needs to be changed and modified for the new way of doing things. There is an adjustment there that you're going to have to make, Capricorn. And you can call upon the ancestors to be able to make the changes. When you do run into difficult influences, this card is letting me know that you can call upon the ancestors for advice and guidance. Embracing enthusiasm. Shout to the heavens with happiness. This card makes sense in your reading because as much as there's a lot of change and upheaval indicated for your job and career, for your money, this is telling me that when you embrace that, it can be beautiful. This card has a whole bunch of butterflies coming up the side. This is an indication of positivity for the changes that are coming. When we have butterflies come out in any kind of a reading, it's an indication of a rebirth. Oh, look, you're going to be initiated into something new. That's a type of rebirth, right? Butterflies represent rebirth and represent the new, the exciting, the beautiful. How many of us don't like looking at butterflies? They are beautiful creatures. And when they go from this squirmy little caterpillar and become these beautiful creatures, that's an indication that that is happening to you this year. Shapeshifter. Are butterflies shapeshifters? You're damn right they are. Like I said, they go from being the caterpillars into the beautiful butterflies. And now you've got the shapeshifter card coming up as your unexpected insights. Transform and unveil your gifts. Capricorn, are you wearing a mask? Have your jobs and career been something that really didn't resonate with you, but you did it because it was expected of you? This card is indicating that that ends in 2023. and that your real gifts come out. And I want to say, I'm going back to this again. I think that your real gifts involve world travel and involve, in some way, shape, or form, some initiation or integration of perhaps integrating different cultures. This card is really, really indicating that the gifts that you have, the talents that you have. Remember the card that you had way back, almost an hour ago, with regards to your focus. Your focus had the card about using your talents in changing times. This card is asking you again to use your talents, expose your gifts to the world this year. That's what's going to help you expand your career this year. You have hidden talents and hidden gifts inside of you. Everything that's happened to you, everything you've experienced up until this point has prepared you for a new career, for this change in career, for this change in the way that we're going to be doing business, Capricorn. You are prepared for this. You are well positioned for this. This is a positive thing, even for some of you who are kind of pulling back in fear right now. This card's telling me that you're prepared for this. Even if you might not feel like it on a conscious level, on an unconscious level, the changing times that we're going through, if they feel really, truly uncomfortable, go back to this. Go back to moment, and hop from stone to stone to stone, step by step. It's going to help you. Oh my God. General overall outcome for 2023, Capricorns, for money, job, work, butterflies, changing, transformation. Oh my goodness. You can't make this S up. You can't. Capricorn, your ending for 2023 with regards to money, job, work, and career, this is your outcome. A beautiful butterfly. What all of this is telling me is that the initial part of 2023 is going to be uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I'm going to come right out and say it. It's going to be bloody uncomfortable, especially if you fight or bump up against it and you don't accept the change that's coming. If you implement this and just go moment to moment and be your general happy, accepting self, go from stone to stone, and recognize and acknowledge the big changes that are coming, the initiation into this new world. Oh my God, this is the outcome for you. Butterflies. Absolutely beautiful. This is so positive with regards to your money, job, work, and career, Capricorn. What more can I say? I can't even add to this other than the synchronicity. The synchronicity that the last three cards that came up for you in this reading as well represented: butterfly, regeneration, change, rejuvenation, unveiling your gifts. That is the outcome for you for 2023. So as much as there's going to be some cycles and some new directions for you, the overall outcome is absolutely gorgeous. Just like the butterfly on the card. All right. Capricorn, thank you so much for joining me. If you like this, if this resonated with you, please like and subscribe and watch this space, because I am hoping to do some more prediction videos for everyone. Take care. Happy New Year.